Welcome back to Let's Play Higurashi Onikakushi. We're doing the same as usual. Took quite a while there to load down. I'm actually sitting on my desk. I can't remember the last time I ever did that. It was like my chair was like covered in random stuff. I had my notes. Just had a bunch of stuff on my chair because I don't use it much because I don't really sit at a desk very much at all. And like, I just move all out of the way, and I found socks! Freaking socks! My god! They freaking always disappear and shit. So, it's the 14th. Like, well, how do I usually go about recording anyway? Like, next part, the part before this will be uploaded tomorrow. But I was like, let's record today, you know, in advance. I know, like, the previous freaking recording was awful. Because, like, it went completely out of sync. And you know what? When a freaking, like, right towards the end of the previous part, like, I had been recording for over an hour, and honestly, the plot made me feel legitimately uncomfortable. It's like, it's just like, I miss those slice of life moments. Can we go back to those? One other thing is I figured out that piano melody, but we'll go over that later on, I guess. Figured out how to play it on my keyboard, but it was on my guitar first. Oh boy, let's get back to this shit. This rate we're gonna freaking need... Wait, I loaded the wrong one. At this rate we're gonna need freaking, like, intermissions. It's like, no. It's just like too much crazy shit's going on here that's having interval. These damn Kakanas, I hate them so. Well, that reminds me, I was looking at the Steam reviews that it's got. I like looking at the more amusing ones, and one would just simply said something like, I bought this wondering why they cry. In the end, only I cried or something like that. Just like, yep. It's just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Misleading. You look at it, you just think, oh, slice life. It's the school days shit, that is, isn't it? You look at, like, a normal image of, like, school days, you just think, just typical slice of life bollocks, is it? Nope. A dickhead protagonist and a screwed up ending. Higurashi on the other hand is a bit different. It's like, cutesy slice of life, eh? And then it's like, for the first half of the first arc, you're like, yeah, it is, isn't it? Then, BAM! Just like, oh no. Higurashi when they cry, and I could have freaking finished that scene in the previous part, technically. We're gonna get tips. No. This free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood. In dog shit is where you stood. I gently closed my eyes and pondered the ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I hate this music, man. It's so unnerving. It's like, wow. I miss the goofy atmosphere, man. I'd fallen out of favor with them. After interacting with Keiichi-san multiple times, I could see it as I was getting close to the heart of the matter. You know what? It reminds me, remember Dark Upper 2 when I LP'd that? Around about when we were going towards Anzu's ending. Everything got like all melancholic and depressing. I remember editing for that and I was just like, oh, the feels. It's the same with this, only it feels for a different reason. It's just like, instead of feeling like all melancholic, it's like, unnerving music and plot. The warning yesterday with the mochi was a good indicator of that, and I recall. The dictionary, what is the word for today? Sure guy, obstacle, noun. That was literally the first word I saw. Probably the quickest freaking word of the day in Japanese that I've done so far. No, calling it a warning was just my habit of understanding things. Why am I doing the echo of dolphin voice anyways? It probably had no meaning beyond stunting my progress and buying themselves some time. And like I said, man, this is one of the tamer ones. But the trouble is, this one is like, well, actually all of Higurashi's full-on psychological horror. The worst. Not the worst in is like, oh, it's crap, but worse as in, it's like really just like unnerving. Like you got horrors like, they're just like blood and gore and shit like that. Then you've got the unnerving psychological ones. I find them to be the creepiest of them all. Until they had a method of completely erasing me, they were just biding their time. Even though they would keep me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi Hojo, the boy who was using the seeds until last year when he disappeared. That's another thing. In the previous part where I just messed around with the editing, I just like kept zooming in on Rena because it was out of sync and I was just like, fuck it. Just like, and surprisingly, zooming in on her face doing all this kind of random shit with a freaking zoom effect. Just like, it kind of like, it took away from the horror a bit. That and the fact that I was like voice acting like in a ridiculous way where it's like, I need to come closer. Just like, it's like my way of relieving the tension from the plot. If you want the full-on tension of the plot, just buy it yourselves. It's on Steam and Manga Gamer's site. Of course, Manga Gamer's site is not safe for work and 18 plus and all that, because it's got a lot of, I think to be called erodes or whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce that bloody word, to be honest. You get the idea. A lot of that shit on there as well. Ironically, Higurashi, like, they had like this all ages type of version of the site. I don't know if they still got it like that. And Higurashi was like one of the few on there, just like, this is not all ages, man. I mean, imagine being like freaking, what, 10 years old reading this. You'd be like, fuck. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn! I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never! But were they really trying to kill me? I've had these contradictory feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. Follow their suspicious behavior. A morning like this just made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. No, that's what I want to believe. Doubting my friends, covering for them, my life was in danger. Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated on a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them and my absurd voice, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me, okay.
The little voice inside me continues to torment me with those unresolvable trains of thought.
It was ridiculous. Are you an idiot, Keiichi? By power, the answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have been just an accident, right? Yeah, mochi. Sewing needles go hand in hand, practically. I don't even fully know what mochi is, to be honest. How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of mochi? The benefit of the doubt can only go so far. Both Ren and Mion had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. You know, I also remembered, realized, rather, I don't think I realized it back in the day when I originally played the novels, read the novels. It's like right at the start where Keiichi and his family are essentially returning to Hiname's Hour after, going out of town, and they're on the train, and, Keiichi, says something like, who's apologizing? It's like, just say whatever and all that shit. I actually understand that now, but I'm not going to spoil what I do understand about that, because that's way later on. Not even later on in this arc, or any of the question arcs, but answer arcs we're talking here. Late answer arcs at that. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outright ludicrous, right? Renner just corrected me for lying, and me and only asked me about what I had for lunch. And I was standing outside the door eavesdropping for a good hour, you know. She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside your room? It isn't normal to go home afterwards without saying anything. Totally. You heard from Oishi-san, didn't you? About what Renner did at her former school? That we found out in the previous part. Was it the previous part? Well, it was the previous part where he was imagining it, anyway. There was the part before that when we heard about that, though. But at the hospital, she said it was Oyashiro-sama's fault. Did he say out loud, "Cut it out, Keiichi, my boy, I don't realize I have to kill you"? I inadvertently blurted those words out loud. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few moments. Afterwards, I had to look around to check if anyone else had heard it. My little soliloquy kept a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Renner and the others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. Birds. There's already cicadas, now bird chirping. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. Late in the novel as well, I suppose. I think we're near the end of this story arc, maybe, I think. Like, plot point-wise, we're getting closer and closer. Well, obviously, the further you go for the plot, the closer it becomes to its conclusion. I do that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal, ordinary life. You think I could suddenly believe that my friends, who I'd been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me, right? Dude, that was more than... when did I even start, LP? It's just like... I told you, man, as soon as they get up to the frickin' festival, that's where the plot suddenly takes a turn. But it doesn't take that big turn until, like, that scene. Then it's just, like, straight down. What? You're too soft, Keiichi. I remembered to keep my mouth down so only I could hear it. Says that, but there's even more exclamation marks, making it indicated that he's saying it louder. There was one thing I now understood. I was too soft. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Renner and the rest of them were. No, I wasn't trying to understand. I was too soft, not listening to Oishi-san when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. I didn't comprehend it. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, and nobody had any notion to try and kill me. I need to get rid of such naive thoughts. As I made that resolution, I heard the bell signaling the end of class so soon. The day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. Why am I speaking? Well, I say that quite a lot. I just go into accents randomly like that. My friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I'd probably have happily jumped into that circle. But now... Oh, it's the music! My Keiichi-san! How rude of you to even think about leaving! Actually, I think my guitar would be too quiet. I must play it. It's the last bit right at the end. I haven't figured it out, though. Probably gonna be loud. can't figure out that last note. I know it ends like that. It might be like, it's like, it's a real pain in the ass. I can't figure out the last section. The first bit is like B, C, G, B, C, G. It's like A, B, E. Like arpeggios, I think. Then it's G, A, C. Right there. I don't know, man. That last bit bugs me, though. Actually, I want to try to figure out what's actually being played with the strings. I think the bass is actually like C, A, F, G, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Actually, I will not continue till I figure it out. like this, isn't it? But it's played here. Be it. Yeah, I think that is actually. The last section I have trouble with is like. Yeah, how's that work? The last bit, it's G, B, D, E, D. The bit leading into it's got that right here. B, C, D, D. The music, it's just like keeps making me want to play along to it, but essentially. What bits did I go over? I went over like that. Then it's like the bit that comes after that. It's like that bit right there. B, C, B, C, B, C. How does it go again? Yeah, that's how it is. B, C, E, D, C, is it? Yeah, and then it's like B, then B, C, G. And then when it comes back again, it's B, C, but then you go down an octave, or up an octave rather, B, C, B, C. B, C, B, C, G, E, D. Then I think it goes back and does E, F, C. And then you got the last bit at the end, which is G, B, D, E, D. I think that's how it goes. No, that's great. Let's play along one more time. We're going in C second now. Wait for it. Yeah, that interval right there. Does this sound familiar to you? same interval as, is it True Colors or Time After Time? I think it's True Colors, that song. Okay, now that I got that long ass freaking thing out of the way. Seriously, that last bit kept throwing me off. I think I got it, but I don't know at the same time. Right there. When it just comes back, it's like, I remember counting, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 notes in total. I counted when it like goes do 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 do. It's just like the switch. It's not switching key or anything, but the notes just throw me off. I think if it is why I just figured out, then that's probably why, because it's got an F in there, which I don't think it had until that point. Just weird. Let's get back to the plot. The way Satoku spoke was so typical and familiar, it almost physically hurts.
Keiichi-kun, is today not a good day, I wonder. And we were going to win big together. Oh.
Seeing Rena's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey, Keiichi, maybe Oishi-san is just some enormous jerk trying to separate me from the others by lying to me. Ow! Trying to impugn such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face.
Keiichi-kun!
Yeah, was Rena really trying to kill me? I wish someone would tell me it was a hoax. I didn't care if it actually was one or not. I just wanted somebody to say it was. God, yet another weak-willed fox. How did I ever become this naive?
Oh, you alright? Does your head hurt?
Apparently that was how my inner dilemma appeared to Rena. Who's saying that? Oh yeah, it's her.
You're pale, can you make it home by yourself? Maybe I should accompany you home, I wonder.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I can get home by myself. Just have the meeting without me. Upon hearing that, I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting. Leon pouted unhappily.
Since Keiichi was so bent on a revenge match, we were even going to play with that production game from before, too. Keiichi-san doesn't have the burning desire for a rematch. How pathetic.
I wouldn't fool for some dumb taunts. That's even a real retort. I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head.
Keiichi doesn't seem to be well. How very unfortunate.
It was Rika-chan. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hands. It felt so nice, which made things even harder. Sorry, everybody. See you. That's all I said as I quickly left the room. They said something to me as I was leaving. I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in that state of mind. Took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Harden that heart, Keiichi Maibara. They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them, because weren't they my friends? Part of me lamented my naivete, which, and by another part, lamented the fact that I had lost something important by lamenting over it in the first place. Felt like my consciousness was being ripped out of my body. If this is what Oyashiro-sama's curse was like, then it was just too harsh. Hey, Oyashiro-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse, but I believed in it now, completely. Your curse does exist, so certainly, give me a break. I beg you, come on. The damn bloody Higurashi, man. Loud. This music's playing a lot, isn't it? Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. The miso soup that normally tantalized my appetite instead tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in his household. When he got into his work, he ate and slept on his own schedule. My dad never cared about time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, I meant he had just reached a good point to take a break, or he was in a slump. who's speaking? So yeah, he just doesn't understand the motivation creators have.
The partnership was just a verbal agreement, wasn't it? If it's so hard to agree on things, why not just end it?
I feel like it's an industry with a lot of back scratching, but when it gets in the way of business. Wasn't able to pick out much of my mom and dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. That of course made discussing food even less appealing. Staring maliciously at the exchange between my parents, my mind wandered off to the same thought process as I had going all day long. Friends close to me, no, they used to be friends, but I could no longer trust them. Right now was greatly lacking in allies. People I trusted, people I could depend on when push came to shove. They were something I just didn't have. Having just one ally would have been incredibly reassuring in the currently helpless situation I was in. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents, who were still talking about work. The first course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Currently, there wasn't a single person from Higurashi I could trust 100%. That meant the only people I could trust were my parents. But if I told them everything that happened up until now, would they understand? Rena, for example. That neighborly Rena, who was so diligent in looking after me, came to get me every day, and sometimes brought over a share of what she needed. How could I explain that she wanted to kill me? No matter how I explained, it would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat eccentric dad wouldn't understand, and my high-strung mum would probably drag me off to a psychiatrist in the blink of an eye. Sadly, that was the amount of trust that existed in our relationship. Even if they did come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. No, by informing them of these unnecessary things, I'd be putting my parents in danger as well. Considering that the victims in past incidents were often married couples, I couldn't even joke about it. For the entire Maibara family to have an accident or to just vanish into thin air was easily possible in any result. What was important here was that knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question was, how did they know that I knew? As long as they didn't know, my parents might not fall victim. That was one way to think about it, I guess. At least, it was like that in my case. After I found out things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen. As long as my parents were here, this house would be a safe haven for them. I knew these were just assumptions based on conjecture on top of conjecture. Wanting this house to be a safe haven, that was the pinnacle of my weak-willed method of thinking. I had to concede that it was not completely safe. It was only safer than the outside. I knew that I couldn't rely on my parents. No, I couldn't risk getting my parents involved. And the only person who could be my ally would be Keiichi-san, him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. And, kind of like how you got in a situation theoretically in the first place, I guess. He didn't care so much about my safety. Well, yeah, pretty much did, didn't he? But he was without a doubt passionate about solving this case. It was a bit frustrating. Keiichi-san was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Now to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning, it was all going according to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing in the waves as bait. You know when he said just like, worry if Keiichi's like wrong and all, and just being a big jerk. I know where he goes, he's kind of an asshole. It's like getting him involved in this shit. Then when the fish started gathering around, Keiichi-san would pull up the big haul. It was slightly infuriating, but even I thought that was the best course of action. So then, what should I do? Patience was the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until the fish actually bites. I wasn't simply bait. There were lots of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough and tag out Keiichi-san. What is this, a frickin' wrestling match now? Just like, okay. It's like Keiichi and Keiichi versus Neon and Rena. Tag team match, player. Holla holla. Oh man, if you don't really ever watch WWE, you have no idea what the fuck it is referencing. No question it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Keiichi-san in would be difficult. He was in the way. In the city, I mean, not in Mizawa. So if I found him in my moments of need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I needed to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, if we set up a rendezvous point for dire situations or something, I'd just have to hide out there until a witch's sign arrived. Okay, I can almost see it now. I'm still being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah, it would probably be best if I had a concealed weapon for them. Things that I know them things are right. Typically that would call for a switchblade, but that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, that also wasn't good. Really, when time comes, a long weapon like a bat will work in my favor. I remembered there was a metal bat at school. I could be confident with that when push came to shove. If I pretended I was practicing my swing, well, then it wouldn't be suspicious for me to always carry it around. I don't know about that, man. Just like, practice your swing? You don't even play baseball. I could go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just positioning a weapon may be enough to meet a man. Also, one more thing. Insurance. It could be something like a note or a memo. I could write down everything that has happened as a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanish, the journal would be left behind. With my journal in his possession, Sam should be able to avenge my death. My parents engrossed in their conversation about work and went back to my room. I tore out a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to my desk. The last time I wrote to Joe was for summer homework in elementary school. Sounds a bit like David Bowie there. In the off chance something bad happened, the police could use my diary as a lead. So I should only write down the facts. Now this whole time I'm just like swaying back and forth occasionally on this chair. It's like it's better than freaking sitting awkwardly with my legs crossed, really, isn't it? How should I start? I jotted down my thoughts as they came. Just like say that, just like, and that's what he writes first. It's like I jotted down my thoughts as they came. It's just like, because that technically is a thought, isn't it? I came to my door, I'm in fear for my life. It made me laugh nervously. The line that showed up often in detective stories. I've even dreamed that I would be in the type of situation where I'd write it myself. I do not know why they are after my life. Ran down the others were suspicious, but I had no clue. That's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed wryly at myself for writing such a passage rich in mystery. Would the police be able to get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage? I could only pray that they would. What I prayed for the most, though, was that this journal never needed to play its part. Here I laughed nervously. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line. I just wrote. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with a ship that was cursed. Is that too much? I probably shouldn't write more than that. If I wrote any more, then it would seem like I was just delusional. But it would appear to the reader that the person who had written this was of sound mind and chose not to write anything else at this point. I just need to add more as I learned more about the truth. Why am I speaking in this voice? I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it. By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that the blaze would uncover it instead. On the other hand, if it was in too obscure of a location, then there was a risk of nobody finding it at all. Every other side, tape clock off my wall and stick my folded note on the back of it with Scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back into its own position. Yeah, didn't look like anything was hidden behind it. Now I need to set it up such that if anything happens to me, my parents can find it. I looked at it from countless different angles until I was satisfied and made my way downstairs. My parents were still talking about work. It didn't look like it was going to end anytime soon, so I cut in. Sorry to interrupt. I have something I want to talk to you about. I never started off a conversation like that before, so my parents were both startled. They stopped talking and turned towards me. What is it, Keiichi? I have a favor to ask you. Please listen. Just in case, yeah? It's not urgent. Can we do this later? Right now, Mummy and Daddy are having something urgent to talk about. Now, if you say Mummy and Daddy, with Mummy being first, that must mean his mom's talking, right? I don't know. I didn't think their talk was more urgent than mine. In any case, I stated my request. Just in case, okay, if I die. But my parents' eyes went as wide as saucers. If I die, I want you to put the clock on my wall in my coffin. If they did that, then they'd probably find it. No shit. My memoir. If my parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch, I can blame them. I made that clock in shop class and I really like it, so please. What's the matter, Keiichi? Did something happen? Mum was finally able to ask me with a questioning gaze. I actually got my freaking voice acting right that time. Of course, it was a normal response when someone's son suddenly talked about a subject like this. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. With the awkward mood leaving the room in silence, I decided to go back up to my room. I want to get to school early tomorrow, so I'm going to bed. Good night. Saying only that, I left the living room. Well, gee! It's like, it's just like, I'm worried about shit, so you're going to be worried about shit as well. I need to get to school early tomorrow and secure that fact. I should make today the last day I went to school with Ren. As I climbed the stairs, I heard my mum call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. But I talked about it, if it would only make things more dangerous. The life that had begun was mine and mine alone. I couldn't rely on anybody. He says that, but isn't he technically going to rely on Oishi anyway? I wouldn't be killed, not when I still knew nothing. Higurashi when they cry.